For those of you who don't know, I'm a healing and embodiment coach, and I help women become their most confident, healthy and healed, and most empowered self. But for today's video, let's talk about something that is going to flip your understanding of healing completely: quantum healing. And quantum healing is healing on the deepest level of your existence, not just physical, not just emotional, not even just spiritual. It's about tapping into the quantum field, the level of pure potential, pure energy, pure creation. And here's the part that most people miss: you don't need to believe in it. You don't need to understand it. You don't even need to be spiritual for it to work, because this isn't just some woo woo concept. This is literal physics. Okay? Now, let's break it down. Healing has layers, so let's walk through them. And we're going to go from the surface of your being all the way down to the void, the space of pure possibility, which is the quantum field. So let's start with the most common level of healing, which is physical healing. So you break a bone, you need surgery, right? You tear a ligament, you get physical therapy, all the things. You already know the deal. But this is surface level healing. Important? Yes, of course it is, but it's just the tip of the iceberg. It's you're healing the matter with matter, right? Then let's go a layer deeper, which is mental healing. Say you're triggered by someone making a joke at your expense, or someone insulting you, and it brings up childhood trauma of when you were bullied. So you feel anger, you start analyzing it once you're triggered, and you recognize the emotion and you try to figure out why it's coming up, right? That's the work that we're doing. So you're operating from your mental realm, looking for logic and cause. So you're trying to understand why you're reacting a certain way mentally and try to resolve it. But we can go deeper still. So emotional healing is the next. So you realize the reason that joke triggered you or that insult triggered you isn't just about the moment, it's because as a child you were bullied, right? So you internalized that humiliation, and now anything that resembles it activates your nervous system, and you're becoming completely dysregulated and all over the place. This is now healing at the level of memory and emotion. And that matters as well. It matters a lot if we do the inner work. When you know personal development, it matters so much. And I absolutely emphasize on that in my Coming Home to Yourself membership as well. But we're not done, okay? Now we go even further. So we go further into the energetic dimension, which is spiritual healing. And this is where practices like Reiki, energy balancing, chakra clearing, all those things come in. You're no longer just healing thoughts or symptoms, you're literally healing the frequency of your being, right? So you're bringing your energetic field back into alignment, and you're clearing that stuckness, those blockages that doesn't even have words. It just lives in your energy, right? And not everybody believes in it, but it is there, and it is absolutely vital that you take care of your energetic field as well. But that's still not the end. Down to the cellular, atomic, and even subatomic levels. So let's say we're taking a physical route again, but instead of staying on the surface, first you go into the organ level, which Western medicine treats with pills or surgery. If we go deeper, there's the cellular level, where practices like Ayurveda or naturopathy begin to re-regulate the entire system holistically, right? Then we have the atomic level, where this is where treatments like chemotherapy, for example, are used to target cells and molecular structures. Okay? Some of you may have heard of that. Even deeper, the subatomic level, where homeopathy begins to work, not on physical matter, but on vibrational imprints, let's call it that. And beneath even that, there are nanoparticles. And finally, what is left? Waves, which is pure frequency, pure potential, pure nothingness, you could say. And this is the foundation of quantum healing. The quantum field is the field of nothingness, basically. At the deepest level, you are energy and not matter, right? And energy isn't solid. It's not even real in the way that we think of real, okay? Everything you perceive as form is at its core made up of empty space and vibrating waves. And below the particles, below the atoms, there is nothing. And that's the point. Because when you change the nothingness, when you shift the wave, you shift everything that exists above it, right? And that's what quantum healing is about. And that's what's so amazing about it. I bet you didn't even know that, or have at least never thought of it. Before I got into this work, I had never even thought of it. I didn't even know that existed. Because where does somebody teach you that? Now, healing, embodiment, and manifestation get a whole other meaning, right? You're not just healing the physical or the emotion or the energy, you are literally changing the field around you that creates the field. If that made sense. You're going to the root of all roots. You're becoming the observer that shifts the entire system. That is identity shift on a whole other level. And once you're in that state, the quantum field, the rules are completely different as well, because time doesn't exist. Belief is not even required, and matter is malleable. That's why healing can happen across space and time. That's why someone can heal a version of themselves from the past and feel the shift now, in the now. That's why you can shift your identity and your external reality changes without force. That's why that is the key to your dream life, to your dream reality. Now, why does stillness equal power in quantum healing? So let me break down something very important to you. It's not your effort that creates the shift, it's your stillness. That's why it's not about working harder, it's about aligning yourself, it's about centering yourself. And everybody who tells you this is not some alignment advice and alignment is trash and alignment doesn't work and alignment is so superficial doesn't fully understand what alignment even means, because today's society has kind of ruined that word as well. Right? But if you fully understand what is actually meant by alignment, it's simply recentering yourself. And quantum healing isn't about hustle again. It's not about your willpower. It's about your ability to be so still, so neutral, so surrendered, so open that the quantum field can mirror back a new pattern. It's that knowing state again. But what gets in the way? Your overthinking, your distractions, your unhealthy patterns, your stories, your attachment to your current identity and circumstances. Your mind is so noisy, your body is so tense, and you're trying to manifest or heal from complete chaos without regulating yourself, and it doesn't work like that. When you are still, when you're regulated, the field becomes so responsive. When you are present, the wave literally collapses into matter. When you are being very, very clear, and that's why we have to be so specific in our manifestations, the quantum field mirrors that clarity. Okay, that's when why you cannot manifest just by writing something down 10 times. You still didn't give the universe, God, spirit, whoever, the quantum field, enough clarity about it. You are not even clear about it. So it's just creating confusion, and that's why it doesn't work. And this is also why meditation and visualizations and conscious awareness, they are so powerful. People are just misconstruing their meaning and ridiculing them, right? But I have seen, studied, and learned from a lot of people over the past years. And let me tell you, 90% of people are using and understanding it all wrong, or just completely dismissing it. And that is why nothing is working. Because in that space, you are no longer reacting from your past, right? You're choosing from the field. You're shifting your energetic signature. You are commanding a new timeline, literally. And on the contrary to popular belief, your awareness is the switch. So let's bring it home, shall we, for the end of this video. Healing doesn't just mean fixing what's broken. It literally means that you are stepping into the version of you where the brokenness never existed. This is why I call it coming home to yourself. It means becoming the person who already lives in the healed frequency, which is literally in you, your core self, and then letting reality, so your environments, your circumstances, catch back up. And you don't do that through force, through working harder, through doing so much more while you're still being in that dysregulated state. You do that through awareness, through neutrality, and through stillness, while still taking aligned action, right? Watch my 5-step video on how to create your dream reality. That tells you everything you need to know. You literally slip under the programming, under the emotion, under the stories, and into the field where you can change it all. And that's where the shift actually happens. That's where quantum healing begins. It's not in the mind, it's not in the body, but in the nothingness that creates all of it. And that's how everything works.